Hello and welcome to Clearview Television. We're reaching you live from Nigeria's capital city, Abuja. First, the headlines. Shocks and disbelief at the discovery of sacks of rotten naira notes at Wadata Police Barrack in Benue State. Hundreds of Moroccan football fans in a state of devastation following last-minute flight cancellations to Qatar World Cup semi-final sensation. Popular actress and politician Funke Akindele bows out of the movie industry to face politics squarely. I am Florence Joshua with this and more. Can Nigeria ever wriggle out of financial crisis? This was a question on the lips of many people upon hearing the news of damaged naira notes reportedly discovered in Wadata Police Barracks, Benue State. The naira notes were hidden in multiple bags and are suspected to have been sacked for years. Going by the state of the naira notes, a voice in the video can be heard saying, "Live for Wadata EFCC discovered money. See money. See where them hide them. Money don't spoil. Make una see am. See money. Police barracks, Wadata politicians, una no go kill us." Hundreds of Moroccan football fans have been left devastated as last-minute flight cancellations took sets to stop them traveling to Qatar for this Wednesday's World Cup semi-final. Morocco's national airliner, Royal Air Maroc, had planned to run 7 additional flights ahead of the game. It made the decision after Morocco's FA promised to give fans 13,000 free tickets to the clash with France. But on Wednesday, it said Qatarian officials had blocked the flights. It is unclear why Qatarian officials ordered the airline to stop the flights, and the government's Central Communications Office has yet to respond to a request for comments. In a post on its social media channels on Monday, the airline had offered to lay on 30 additional flights as part of an exceptional flight schedule to help fans get to Qatar. But affiliated travel agencies later said there will be just 7 extra flights. The cancellations left a number of fans who had already booked tickets and hotel rooms out of pocket. The airline offered a full apology and said it would reimburse passengers. Meanwhile, a number of Moroccan expatriates have been arriving in Qatar, attracted by the promise of free tickets from the country's FA. Around 5 million Moroccans are estimated to live around the world, with many of them in France. But as fans arrive at centers at the Al Janoub Stadium, many covering their heads with their Moroccan flags and caps to protect themselves from the heat, they were left angered when the free tickets promised by the FA failed to materialize. Wednesday's semi-final clash is the first time an African side have reached the stage of football's biggest competition. Though their French rivals are heavily tipped by pundits to advance to the final against Argentina. But Morocco's coach Walid Regragui, who grew up in Paris, said his side are confident and don't want to wait another 40 years for an African team to shine on the world stage. The House of Representatives has called on the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited to ensure adequate supply of premium motor spirits, popularly called petrol, within 7 days. At the plenary on Tuesday, the House particularly asked NNPCL to end the artificial scarcity within the next 1 week in order to ease the suffering of Nigerians, while calling on the Nigerian Midstream Downstream Petroleum Regulatory Commission to seek collaboration of the Nigerian Police Force and the DSS to ensure that fuel is sold at a regulated price and in all retail outlets. The House further mandated its committees on petroleum resources, downstream, and legislative compliance to ensure compliance with the resolution. The resolution was based on a motion of urgent public importance moved by a member of the House, Musa Abdullahi, titled "Urgent Need for the Government to End the Current Fuel Scarcity." Moving the motion, Abdullahi noted that in the last few months, Nigerians have been subjected to untold hardships caused by the lingering petrol scarcity affecting economic activities and making the already trying times in the country more difficult. The British High Commission in Nigeria has expressed its interest in saying that the upcoming elections in Nigeria are free, fair and credible. The British government said it's partnering with the Independent National Electoral Commission (INEC) to ensure that the 2023 election will be free and fair. The political counselor of the British High Commission in Nigeria, Jonathan Bacon, disclosed this while speaking to journalists at a closed-door meeting with the Rivers State Governor, Nyesom Wike. Bacon, who led other officials of the British Commission on the visit, described the meeting with Governor Wike as very productive. He noted that the British government is always monitoring the situation in Nigeria ahead of the 2023 elections. He stated that the meeting with the governor also centered on how to cement the existing relationship between the United Kingdom, Nigeria, and Rivers State. If you're just joining us, you're watching the news on Clearview Television, and when we come back, we'll bring you stories on women and children. Stay with us.
The news continues now with stories from our area of specialization, women and children. After the main transmission of our news, we rebroadcast on our YouTube page, Clearview TV. Do you operate a women or children's NGO? Are you at the helm of affairs of a government establishment or a corporate organization involved in the affairs of women and children? Then you are our partners in progress. We have a mission to better the lot of our women and children. Join us to celebrate womanhood and work assiduously to better the lot of the Nigerian child. This is our mission.
Welcome back. As Nigerians count down to the 2023 general elections, the issues of women's participation in governance has again been brought to the front burner. To this end, women from across the country converged this Wednesday on Abuja for a two-day conference to deliberate and map out strategies on how to strengthen their participation in issues of governance in the countries. Clearview TV's Gora Atta was there and now completes the report.
Since Nigeria's return to democracy in 1999, her political system has been dominated by men, even though women constitute a larger part of the voting population, with 6.2 million out of 12.2 million newly registered voters ahead of the 2023 elections and almost 50% of the nation's overall population. Across the globe, Nigeria ranks extremely low in gender equality index ratings, and this has been attributed by many to the inherent culture, lack of internal party democracy, and the patriarchal practices across the country. Worried by the continuous patriarchy and gender disparity in virtually all sectors of national development, women from all walks of life converged on Abuja for a two-day conference to discuss and strategize ways of advancing their rights in the country. Speaking at the event, the country director ActionAid Nigeria, NLB, said the conference with the theme 2023 and Nigerian Women in Governance, Sustaining Momentum for Active Participation, is geared towards creating an enabling environment for women's active participation at all levels of governance.
This is no more time to stay behind. You have your children that you have trained, they have no jobs. There are no jobs that you can physically see. Some children have been out of job for more than 5 years, or they have no jobs at all. Some do not have hope, and yet you have a mouth to feed. This is the time for Nigerian women to tie their waist, because our country is going down. So I urge all the women in the conference and those at home, I urge you to stand upright for the next woman around you. There is no need for jealousy. Jealousy will not get you anywhere, but unity and love will get you somewhere. You need to be worried for your daughters. You need to be worried for your grandchildren.
Other stakeholders at the event also stressed on the need for effective collaboration towards giving priority to issues that concern women, thereby amplifying their voices, especially as the 2023 general elections draw close.
In order to allow women to be part of decision-making in all facets of governance, the need of constitutional reform is apt to erase obstacles to their aspiration.
We need to strengthen our advocacy as women, coordinate a multi-stakeholder response and strengthen that coordination.
Women can no longer accept to remain the victims of Nigerian politics. As a council, the National Council for Women's Society shall continue to advocate and mobilize support for female aspirants, irrespective of party affiliations.
As we plan towards the 2023 elections, that we will have women's voices heard, and then they will be able to make decisions for themselves, and they will be ably represented, such that we will have a greater percentage in terms of our target to have 30% of women actively participate in governance.
This gathering not only represents a broad spectrum of our women, but it also constitutes a significant milestone on the road to their greater development and participate in the wondrous task of nation building.
The gap between the women who are in politics now and the young ladies is very wide. Something more has to be done to be able to get the young ladies to work with the women, the elderly women, as apprentices like the men do.
Any decision taken without us is not for us, because we are the one that can talk about ourselves more than anybody talking for us.
The event also featured discussions on key challenges affecting women's equal participation as well as the way out. Gloria Atta reporting for Clearview Television.
In Nigeria, on the entire globe, women are writing their names on the sands of time. And here on Clearview TV, we celebrate those unique women. Today, we are celebrating an activist, lawyer, mother, counselor, an advocate of women emancipation, a fellow of the Chartered Institute of Taxation and more. The woman is Mary Ekpere Etta, and Imefon Okon is our guide.
Meet Barrister Mary Ekpere, a former Director General of the National Center for Women Development. Mary Ekpere was born in Ikom local government area of Cross River State. She attended Commercial Secondary Community School in Okanka, Ikom, where she obtained a secondary certificate in 1992. Mary further proceeded to the Kaduna Polytechnic, where she received a diploma in business development in 1999. She also attended Ahmadu Bello University, Zaria, Kaduna State, where she obtained a Bachelor of Law degree. Mary Ekpere began a career as a lawyer with the prestigious law firm of Chief Afe Babalola between 2006 and 2009. While at the law firm, she earned plaudits for a meritorious work as a counselor. She became a member of the Nigerian Bar in 2009. Mrs. Ekpere obtained a postgraduate diploma in corporate management law from Ahmadu Bello University, Zaria. Barrister Mary Ekpere became a fellow of the Chartered Institute of Taxation. During the 2011 general elections, Mrs. Ekpere contested for the seat of Member House of Representatives to represent Ikom Boki Federal constituency under the platform of the defunct Congress for Progressive Change, CPC. She also contested for the seat of Governor of Cross River State, but lost to the then incumbent governor of the state in 2012. Barrister Mary Ekpere was appointed as the Director General of the National Center for Women Development in April 2017 by President Muhammadu Buhari. During her tenure as Director General of the National Center for Women Development, Barrister Mary Ekpere said her tenure was a fulfilling one, working round the clock to achieve the core mandates of the National Center for Women Development. Mrs. Ekpere also scaled up the female artisanship program in air conditioning, refrigerator repairs, generating set repairs, plumbing, piping, and tiling, among others, from 2017 to 2018. Currently, Mary Ekpere is a female politician and aspirant for the All Progressives Congress, APC, for Cross River Central Senatorial seat come 2023. Barrister Mary Ekpere had expressed optimism on her securing the APC slot for the 2023 general elections just as she expressed her confidence in the nation's judiciary. Speaking to the media in Abuja after suits challenging the declaration of Honorable Etang Jana Williams as the candidate of the APC for Cross River Central seat, she held the decision of the Chief Judge of the Federal High Court.
I'm actually not seeing any foul play. I'll give them the benefit of the doubt. Usually administrative constraint, it could happen, you understand. Perhaps communication might have been sent and maybe they mail or they believe or something went round all in the line of administration. So I don't think it has anything to do with the judge or anybody. I have confidence and I believe and I trust that I came to seek justice and I will find justice.
Ekberita had approached the court asking it to determine whether or not, by the virtue of Section 222, subsection 2 and Section 228, subsection 2 of the Constitution, the Electoral Act 2022, and the Constitution of Registered Political Parties in their activities and conduct respectively, or in the alternative to declare that the primary election of the state senatorial district of the APC conducted on May 28, 2022 is null and void, a request granted by the court.
First of all, I will thank God for giving my Lord the wisdom to attend to the issues meticulously. I appreciate her scholars, her energy, her wisdom and time to dispense justice.
Imefonokun, reporting for Clearview Television.
Popular actress and politician Funke Akindele has described her latest movie, Battle on Booker Street, as a farewell project as she joins politics. The movie, which is centered on family, the hustle and bustle in the family, the ups and downs, the fictions and celebrate the Nigerian culture, our food, and also celebrate oneness in the family, state and country, while expressing the positive change she has experienced from being an actor, writer, producer, and director. She emphasized that she has passed the baton of production to the young people as she has moved fully into politics, confident about being the next deputy governor of Lagos State. A beautiful lady whose wedding was scheduled for 27th of December 2022 has died in a fatal accident, leaving her husband to be heartbroken. Blessing Obodo, a nurse from the Bukwera local government area of Cross River State, lost her life on Tuesday in a terrible car accident along Calabar-Ikom Highway in Cross River State. Report has it that two other occupants of the vehicle survived the accident with injuries. Lamenting his loss, Blessing's husband-to-be Bernard Ushe wrote on Facebook, "Dear Blessing, 27th is close and our clothes have arrived from Aba. I am waiting for you to return from Calabar so we can conclude the plans. You know this marriage will be top-notch. Clearview sends its condolences to Mr. Bernard." The Minister of Women Affairs, Dame Pauline Talen, has again called for the full implementation of the Child Rights Act across the federal, state, and local government levels of the Federation to ensure the full participation of children in the decision-making process. She made the call on Tuesday at the inauguration ceremony of the 7th National Children's Parliament in Abuja. Clearview TV's Gloria Atta has the details.
Since its establishment 22 years ago, the National Children's Parliament has continued to provide a platform for Nigerian children to speak on issues affecting them, as well as inculcating them the value of dialogue and collective participation that would equip them for leadership roles. Following the end of the 6th National Children's Parliament inaugurated in May 2018, the Federal Ministry of Women Affairs brought together children from 29 states across the Federation to participate in the election of principal officers of the 7th National Children's Parliament. 10 principal officers from the different geopolitical zones across the country emerged winners in the polls. They are expected to pilot the affairs of Nigerian children for the next 3 years.
To solemnly affirm that I shall bear true allegiance to the Federal Republic of Nigeria, that as a member of the Nigerian Children's Parliament, I will perform my functions honestly, to the best of my ability.
Speaking at the inauguration ceremony of the 7th National Children's Parliament, the Minister of Women Affairs, Dame Pauline Tallen, expressed confidence that the new officials of the Parliament would play relevant roles in further amplifying the voices of children on issues affecting them.
I call on Mr. President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, President Muhammadu Buhari, all our 36 state governors, institutions of government, and all key stakeholders to ensure the full implementation of the Child Rights Act and ensure the participation of children in decision-making that affects them.
I wish to congratulate the newly elected officers and members of the 7th National Children's Parliament, and I hope you will use their office to advance the cause of the Nigerian child. I also appeal that at the next sitting of the Children's Parliament, they should try and review the content of that 7-point agenda, which represents the commitment that the Nigerian government has made to Nigerian children.
We call upon the government to double its investment in children's rights and prioritize the full implementation of child-sensitive policies and strategies nationwide.
Madam Speaker!
The newly elected Speaker of the Parliament, Ume Progress Friday, in her remarks, stressed the need for the federal government and other relevant stakeholders to intensify efforts in catering for the socio-cultural rights of children in the country.
We must go beyond just domestication of the Child Rights Act, but ensure each and every state begins to implement the Child Rights Law. Our administration will work with the Federal and State Ministry of Women Affairs, stakeholders like Save the Children, and other partners in raising awareness and sensitizing the general public about the importance of the Child Rights Act. We will work on translating the Child Rights Act into local languages so that every child is aware and every child has a copy.
Highlights of the event were goodwill messages from relevant stakeholders, taking of oath of office by the newly elected Speaker, and the first inaugural sitting of the Parliament. Gloria Atta, reporting for Clearview Television.
A Kwara State High Court has sentenced 3 persons to death by hanging for the rape and murder of University of Ilorin student Olajide Blessings Omowumi, 24. The suspects were sentenced this December 13, 2022 in Ilorin after a 1.5-year legal battle. The 300-level agricultural science student was found dead in her sister's home on the 2nd of June, 2021, with her mouth gagged with clothes and bruises on her private parts. A pathologist at the University of Ilorin Teaching Hospital, Dr. Kayode Adeniyi, informed the court that the autopsy confirmed she was raped and strangled to death. 8 prime suspects, Abdulaziz Ismail, Ajala aka Jack Lord, Oyeyemi Abdulkarim Shuab, Karim Rashid, Abdulatif Abdulrahman, Dawood Adebayo, and Akande Taye were arrested by DSS in connection with the rape and murder. The trial judge, Justice Ibrahim Adebayo Yusuf, who handed down the judgment, convicted 1st and 2nd and 3rd suspects, Abdulaziz Ismail, Ajala Oluwatimileyi, and Oyeyemi, for the offenses of culpable homicide, punishable with death, conspiracy to commit robbery, and conspiracy to murder. The 4th and 5th accused persons were each sentenced to 3 years imprisonment for the offense of theft. Earlier, the court discharged and acquitted 6, 7, and 8 suspects, Abdulatif Abdurrahman, Dawood Bashir Aderayo, and Akande Taye, on the basis that they were not found guilty of any charges against them. The Bauchi State Police Command has launched an investigation into the removal of a 12-year-old boy's eye by suspected ritualists in Kafin Madaki, Ganjua local government area of the state. Spokesperson of the command, SP Ahmed Muhammad Wakili, who confirmed the incident in a statement, said the victim, Najib Hussaini, is an Almajiri from Kano State. According to the PPRO, 2 unknown persons on a motorcycle lured the minor into the bush in an isolated area of the village, plucked out his right eye, and abandoned him in his pool of blood. Najib Hussaini, 12 years old, an indigene of Kano State, who was attending Quranic classes in Kafin Madaki, was barely a year in the States when the incident occurred on 9th December at Ungwar Yamma. And that's the news. But before we go, a recap of the top stories. A cross-section of Nigerians have expressed shocks and disbelief following the discovery of sacks of rotten Naira notes at Wadata Police Barrack in Benue State. The Naira notes were hidden in multiple bags and are suspected to have been stacked for years, going by the state of the Naira notes. Hundreds of Moroccan football fans have been left devastated following last-minute flight cancellations that stopped them traveling to Qatar for this Wednesday's World Cup semi-final sensation. Morocco's national airliner Royal Air Maroc had planned to run 7 additional flights ahead of the game, but this Wednesday it said Qatarian officials had blocked the flights. We also told you that the Nigerian popular actress and politician Funke Akindele has quit the stage and described her latest movie, Battle on Booker Street, as a farewell project as she joins full-time politics. The movie, which is centered on the hustle and bustle in the family, the ups and downs, also celebrated the Nigerian culture, its food and oneness. Remember to like us on Facebook, Clearview Television. Follow us on Twitter at Clearview TV. Follow us on Instagram at Clearview TV_NG. And also remember to subscribe to our YouTube channel, Clearview TV. Thank you for watching. I am Florence Joshua.